Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stand Gamers, and welcome. So today I want to show you around one of my quick builds. Now, this is the short range attack buggy, and the other day me and Tazu had this idea for a little bit of a game mode where we'd build ourselves a buggy each, where we had two seats, so one guy would have to gun, one guy would have to drive, and the idea is you chase yourself sort of around the environment, hunt each other players, and just have a really sort of intense vehicle game mode. Now, knowing that it's Space Engineers, things kind of went to hell and wheels started rolling off, things started randomly exploding. You can even see just as the vehicle is actually sitting here, it's starting, for some reason, deciding to roll forward or cause some sort of trouble. It could be because I've decided to put a piston in the center, but really at this stage, things like this should be sorted out. Well, moving around the vehicle, I'll start at the front. So right at the front, we've got this like sloped armor piece that's been reinforced by these two other blocks. Now, the idea of this is that it can take a lot of hammer up at the front. Then as we run ourselves along the sides, we've got the first sort of side skirt. What I wanted to do is make the wheels so they were kind of still exposed, not cover them up completely, so that could be a possibility for getting shot out, another way of taking down your opponent. And up here you'll notice that we've actually got the gunner exposed in the turret ring, and I thought this would be a good idea as well because you could shoot the gunner out of the vehicle and the driver to make these rounds a little bit faster paced and quicker with the action, rather than a more slow pace where everyone's hunkered down in some sort of armored vehicle and they can't get away. Now, moving on to the roll cage itself, what I've actually done is used a modded armoured panel ramp, so you can actually see that rolls up into this section quite nicely. And for the majority of the roll cage, I've used cargo containers, and this is actually a functioning storage rack because we've got the connectors at each one of the points, so this actually fills the area around and provides ammunition for the turret at the same time. I just thought it was a good overall idea. Now, what you'll notice as well is the seat in the center is actually on a piston. Now, the idea of this was to obviously get the player up there so he could actually be shot at as well, exposing himself. But if I just quickly access the menu, find myself a piston, you can see we can also reverse that down. I think for the game mode, we're going to keep the actual piston seats up and in a sort of gunning position like so they're a little bit more exposed. But anyway, I'll take this for a little bit of a drive. We'll pop ourselves into the various different positions and I'll show you around this thing. So first off, we have the driver's seat. Now, the ability of this vehicle is it's got to be very sort of maneuverable. We've got a nice view from the first person camera if we want to. Still very exposed, but that's the whole point of this buggy. And if we actually just go into the menu, access the remote control block, we should be able to start controlling this vehicle, turn our brake off, and we'll be able to start driving away through the terrain. So you can see that we've got a lot of friction on these wheels so we can get this tight turning. And the other thing that I've done is tried to make the wheelbase very wide because a lot of the vehicles in Space Engineers, so if I just switch over to this button, have a very tight wheelbase, and it means that the vehicles are very unstable. So if you want to build a fast buggy that's not likely to roll, so if I switch to 9 quickly, speed this up and then turn this around the corner, you can see how it stays very stable as I'm turning that sharp turn. I'll put a lot of force in the next turn again, so we'll just accelerate up and we'll turn around. The friction of the wheels allowing me to do them tight turns quite fast, and I've also got an acceleration limiter on this thing as well, so we can't go too fast and actually break the complete vehicle. So let's just go back to F8 cam and we'll see this thing drive a little bit. We've got to watch out for them hills, of course, so we'll slow our speed a little bit down, so even at the high speeds we can turn and we don't roll the vehicle. Oh my god, I nearly rolled it. Oh my god, I spoke too soon. I've rolled it over. God damn it. Right, let's try to do a GTA here and try to get it back on its wheels. See, exactly what I was talking about. Even if the vehicle was perfectly stable, I managed to roll it over already. I designed this thing so it would have this sort of issue with a really wide wheelbase. Let's just hop out a second if we can. Hop out of that chair. We'll flip it back over by using our Space Engineer's special flipping vehicle. Maybe that's what we need. We need the ability to flip the vehicles back over, maybe like a piston on the roof or something. So we'll drop that vehicle back down and we'll attempt to use the chair on top. Oh no, I didn't put the brake on, did I? Get back in that chair quickly and remote control. We're just accelerating up to our maximum speed. Put the handbrake on. Handbrake, stop the vehicle. Beautiful. Okay, let's have a quick look at the gunner's seat itself as the vehicle decides to roll forward even though the handbrake is on. So if I hop into the gunner's seat here, we should be able to control the turret. So we're looking for gunner. Is it gunner it's called? Let me just have a quick look. Gunner hatch. We can press control. Once we've got control of that, you can see this is the sort of view that we get. We've got a nice sort of surrounding. We can fire, we can engage. There's not much sound with this actual turret. That's the only annoying thing, but I think it should be still pretty cool. So if we go into a third person sort of perspective and just zoom in, we can see that turret in full operation, firing away. The muzzle flash is a little bit far away, but it still looks extremely cool. Let's access number 9. Just have a quick spray. Oh, yes. It looks so cool because the actual astronaut is up there in the turret rather than below. Only if you do something like this, though, it does look a little bit dopey. but there we go. Spin that back around to the front. So these vehicles might go up on the workshop after we've had a bit of a mess around with them and tried to have a shootout, but at the moment the vehicles are still quite problematic in Space Engineers, even though they do offer some rather cool features. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and look forward to seeing our little buggy battle over the next week.